Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Frank Warren. Frank, you won't be able to get to watch Arsenal from your beloved box this weekend, but there is a lot of heavy artillery on the card this weekend.
There's a lot of heavy artillery last night as well in Sheffield. If we buy a striker, we'll be dangerous.
Watford are in need of a striker as well too. My team aren't doing as well as you, Frank, unfortunately. But Parker versus Zhang, I feel like, look, AJ Ngannou is a brilliant big fight as well too, but it's flying a little bit under the radar. What can we expect to see in that fight?
It's a great fight, both of them. First of all, you've got to look what it's for. It's for the WBO Interim Heavyweight Championship. The winner of that is the mandatory, and that's going to be called fairly soon. You've got the big fight happening on the 18th of May between Tyson and Usyk. So the winner could, in theory, get that fight. So, this is an important fight for both of them. And it's an intriguing fight because you look at a common opponent that they both had in Joe Joyce last year. He done an absolute job on Parker, Joe Joyce. I mean, stopped him first time he's ever stopped. And then you look at what Zhang did, where I got it wrong because I fancied our man to beat Zhang, and not once but twice he done the job and done it in good style. So this is a great fight. It's a really, really good fight. It's an intriguing fight, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Looking forward to that fight too, as Zhilei Zhang makes his entrance to the ring. When it comes to the main event, how much do you feel the Joshua team should look at the tape of the Fury fight if they want to build a game plan and get success against Ngannou, not look out with a big upset loss?
Well, first of all, Ngannou in that fight showed that he could box. We knew he was a competitor. He's a fighting man. Everybody got it wrong, and I never understood why they thought like he's just showing up like he's some YouTuber or influencer. He's a fighting man. He came from, as a kid, 9 years old, working in a copper or coal mine in Congo, fought his way out of there, got to Europe, sleeping on the streets, become UFC champion, top echelon, lineal champion, undefeated heavyweight. He's a fighting man. So for me, he was always going to give a fight. I knew he'd be dangerous for a few rounds, but what I didn't know is he could actually box a bit. And he showed he's a switch hitter, he gives people problems, and AJ, I think for him, they're very brave to take this fight. I really do mean that. I wouldn't do it. I would be looking something in a different direction, but they've taken it. And maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. He had a good win last time out against Wallin. He's teamed up with his new trainer, Ben Davison. They got a great rapport. They fancy the job. So it's going to be interesting how he goes about it. And it's going to be interesting to see what has Ngannou learnt from his first fight. His first fight as a boxer, that is. What has he learned? And can he improve on what it is? And if he can improve on what he did last time, it's going to be a handful. I mean, I looked at him in that last fight against Tyson, and I felt that there's a few guys in the top 10. Had he been in the ring with him that night, he would have beaten them. I really do feel that. So if he can land one of those bombs, if he does, how's AJ going to cope with it? How's he going to deal with it? Will he... for me, AJ's got to keep it long. He's got to keep him on the back foot. He's got to get behind his jab. He's got to let that right hand go. This guy, as I said, is a switch hitter. Can AJ keep his focus? Will Ngannou, as we all felt, maybe tire in the latter stages of the fight? I don't know. That's why it's so much interest in the fight. That's why it's so interesting, and that's why there is, there's a lot of jeopardy involved. For AJ to take this fight, he's really putting his career on the line.
I'm glad you mentioned bravery, because sometimes Anthony Joshua gets overlooked for taking big fights like this, jeopardy fights like this. I saw Carl Froch though questioning his mentality, saying that he's weak. For someone of AJ's stature, you can't go with a weak mentality if you want to get the victory over Ngannou.
Well, let's get it right about Carl Froch. He was saying before the guy fought Tyson, it was a total mismatch, it was a disgrace, etc. Slagged the fight off. So now he's acknowledging that Ngannou's doesn't look bad. So here's saying blow which way the wind blows. That's what he does, Carl. And as I always say, this is the guy who feels that the world is flat. So for me, I take no notice of that. What I look at is what I've seen. I don't need anybody to tell me. I've got two eyes. I know what I'm watching, and I genuinely believe if this guy does put some shots together, if he puts AJ on the back foot, he can give him a lot of problems. They're all ifs. If Joshua catches him right, here go. I don't think it's going to go to distance. I don't think the concentration level there. And that's not being disrespectful. I just don't feel that it'll be one of those type of fights. I think as the fight goes on, because they're such big guys, such strong guys, I think they get a little bit tired, and that's when they start getting caught.
And could you let me in a little bit? I'm not so aware of the situation with Ngannou. Is he specifically signed to a promotion, or does he do his own thing?
No, he's signed to the promotions, and he's got a couple of. He's still got a couple of obligations that he wants to see happen. So yeah, he's on board and he's enjoying himself. If he wants to go and fight back at UFC or not at UFC, with that, then obviously PFC, the PIF Saudis have a interest in that. Maybe that will happen. I don't know. At the moment, I have no idea.
So he's not a Queensberry fighter as such?
No, it's not a Queensberry, but there are contracts between. I don't want to go into all the detail. There's contract between everybody concerned. The most important thing, everybody wants to fight. Everybody's enjoying being involved in these things. That's all that matters.
Let me get your thoughts on a couple of wider. So I saw that Joshua's backing Usyk to beat Fury. Now, someone in the ring who's been in the ring twice with Usyk, you got to take that with what it is, because he's had the opportunity. But do you feel that there's any credence to that because he's had that experience?
I always look at when guys have been beaten by other guys, they always pick the guy that beat them. Same with Tony Bellew, isn't it? He said the same thing. Because they've been in there and they've been beaten by the particular fighter, they don't want to see him get beat. They want to see him beat the best guy, because then their loss doesn't look so bad. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. One thing's for sure, on the 18th, we're going to know.
Absolutely. Just moving on as well. Dylan White's been cleared. Any interest in putting him with Daniel Dubois? Could be a good fight.
Who?
Dylan White.
The fight I want to make, which is a real big fight, is Hrgovic for Daniel. That's the fight we want.
What would you do as a promoter with Deontay Wilder, who's looking for a comeback fight? What would you do with him? Because it seems like he's a bit lost at the moment.
I'll tell you a good fight. Him and Joe Joyce. That is a real fight where the loser's done. The winner goes on, the loser's done. That's a good fight. Jeopardy. That's big jeopardy as well.
I absolutely agree with you there. Jumping back to Tyson Fury, he put out a post. He's silenced some of the critics, and he came back and said, Usyk only got 7 rounds with me. 7 rounds, you backing that?
Yeah. I've told you, I'm not changed from one day. I fancy him big time to beat him. I don't want Usyk being a crybaby in the fight, moaning about body shots to the referee and so forth, like he does in nearly every fight.
Do you worry about that sort of thing heading into that fight, that that influence could happen?
No, because we're going to make sure between all of us that we're happy with the officials. I thought I'm not going to go into the fight with Daniel again. Everybody knows my view on that. But Daniel showed what I've always felt, that he is weak to the body.
Finally, Frank, I just want to get your thoughts on Ryan Garcia. Like, you've seen talent come and go, and you've seen stellar talent being wasted as well too. What a shame it would be if Ryan Garcia isn't on the right track to fulfill the potential that he does have.
Well, let's hope he does. I mean, I've seen it, as you say, over the years with lots and lots of good fighters, and he is an exceptional fighter, and I hope he finds his way clear to get some motivation, some direction in his life, and do what he's good at. Use his God-blessed given talent.
Last thing, look, we're in a crazy world, and maybe rewind a few years back, you wouldn't have thought maybe you'd be promoting Anthony Joshua. With Canelo bouncing back and forth to these promotions, could you ever see yourself promoting Canelo Alvarez?
Listen, in this business, you never know what's going to happen. We're all working together. We're working with His Excellency, Stella, the Kingdom, the Riyadh season, Matchroom, ourselves. This is great. This is brilliant. That's what it's all about. Even the TV companies are working together.
Frank, pleasure is all mine. Thanks for checking us out.